Okay, so I'm playing a Warwick. What model is this?
Streamer Stage 1.
I have to say streamer, don't I?
Streamer.
I'm here with Marcus Spengler.
Spangler.
See, I'm speaking German.
Spengler.
Spengler. Okay, I'm doing the best I can. I'm
Like
sorry.
spanking.
Hey,
No.
we're getting pretty hot there. All right, so yeah, there's something very, very special about this bass. Marcus is going to tell me about it. What is it?
This bass was lying for 1 year in whiskey. So the raw materials were lying in a barrel of whiskey, single malt whiskey, in a German distillery for 1 year.
Now, was that? Oh, so it wasn't here at Warwick on the premises.
It was really at the distillery. So we cut the wood, prepared everything, and then we drove it over. It's near Frankfurt, the distillery, and then we put it there, and then we filled it up, and was there then for 1 year.
So I mean, like, it's not like you made the bass and then put it in the whiskey.
No, because this is the problem. You have a lot of glue in and other things. The thing is, if you have a lot of chemical things in the bass or in the woods or on the instrument, then you have the problem that you cannot drink the whiskey anymore because it's forbidden then to make it a whiskey.
And you're holding a bottle of the whiskey that. Yeah, can you see that? Is that in there? That's good. So you're holding a bottle of the whiskey that. Yeah. This instrument was made in.
Yeah. So when you buy the bass, you get the experience. You can see it with your eyes, which is obviously the bass,
absolutely.
and also the whiskey, of course. And also you can smell it because we put a small package of the sawdust in where the bass was in. Yeah, well.
You mean I can smell it on the instrument, or you mean I can smell it there?
You can also smell it there, and you have some.
You just wanted to see if I was going to smell the bass. That's what that was.
No.
It's like if I say it, he'll actually try it. I bet you.
No.
All right, sorry.
And the next thing is you can even taste it. Mm-hmm. And of course you can hear it.
You mean you can taste the bass?
So for all senses. Bite in. Come on, bite in.
Yeah, bite it. Okay, all right. Okay, so other than the fact that this soaked in whiskey for a year, how did this come about? Whose idea was this?
Basically, it was an idea from an endorsee from us.
Okay.
From Axel Ritt of Gravedigger. And he was coming up, he was ringing me up and said, hey, I have this idea. We have our Gravedigger whiskey, and what is happening when I put it...
Wait, they have their own whiskey?
Yes, they have their own whiskey.
Damn, that's baller. All right.
And so he gave it to me. He gave me a ring and he told me, well, I have this idea. We put tone wood into a barrel of whiskey, and then after 1 year or after a certain time, we take it out and then we make an instrument out of it. And we put the brother in.
You put the what?
The brother of the instrument. So we made out of the one, because he's guitar player.
Okay.
So his idea was also to make a plan B, so that you have an A-B. And the idea was, how is the tone changing when you put the wood into a barrel?
So it's a science experiment too.
Yes.
Wow. So there's a counterpart to this that wasn't in whiskey.
Yes, but not on the basses, only on the guitars.
Only on the guitars.
Only on the guitars.
All right.
So
we needed 2 whiskey basses. All right.
So in my opinion, as well, it's a crazy idea, and
so do it.
And for me, it was, to be honest, more how is the whiskey tasting.
Okay, now I don't drink anymore, but tell me, how did the whiskey turn out?
It was really, we made before also tests. Because we wanted that when we fill it out and we finish the project and the whiskey is coming out, that also the whiskey is there and you can drink it.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem was, or the thing was, before we tried it. So I sent some samples over to them, and I put in Brazilian rosewood, and they said it was tasting horrible like medicine.
Okay.
So basically we were coming to the traditional whiskey woods, which is normally oak, but also the ingredients in oak is also a little bit in ash and also in chestnut. And California Buckeye Burl.
I have 2 bases made out of Buckeye Burl.
Is a chestnut.
Okay.
So basically, these woods were also working out. And then on the guitar we put the ebony fretboard in, and a mahogany,
Nice.
which was also working good. And yeah, for the basses we took olive. This is the other bass, and maple for the neck, and for the fretboard, flame maple.
So that's pretty funny that you had to, not funny, I mean, it's interesting that you had to take those considerations not only for like what's going to make the bass look nice and play and be attractive, but also what's going to make the whiskey taste good.
Yeah, of
right?
course, of
That's
course.
so funny.
You know, if
no guitar makers ever had to take that into consideration.
If you fail one time, you know, at least the other thing is working out.
Right. Huh.
And this was the idea, and we tried it. The AB is also the AB test of this instrument is also online. Axel made a review and was ABing it and reviewing it, the instrument, and yeah. And it was
so cool.
It's really, you hear really a difference. But the problem, I really say, it's, you know, it's sister and brother wood, of course. So they were close in one block and in one tree, and they were close together. But also when you build out of one or out of the same wood, two instruments, they are sounding always a bit different.
Obviously.
Right. You cannot 100% prove it, but there are differences.
So you didn't put it under a microscope and send all the tests back to the lab?
At the moment, not.
DNA hasn't come in yet? Okay.
This we could figure out to do maybe.
Is this like a thing you're going to like put into production, or this is just like a one-time run?
The problem is, you know, you don't get so much wood. We had 3 barrels, and the 3 barrels were full with wood, more or less, and there was also only place for 3 basses, or for 2 basses and one guitar, and so it's rare. And we decided we make one guitar,
a collector's
and 2 basses,
edition.
more or less. Yeah.
There you go, and I'm holding it. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, this thing feels great. It plays great. I've been doing videos here. I don't know. I think I've been averaging 4 a day, 3 or 4 a day, and I've used this bass in every single one of them except for the one I did with Phil this morning. Someone else was reviewing this bass, and so I had to, use one of the other ones. But dude, plays great, awesome. Is there anything else you want to talk about, the electronics or the pickups or anything like that?
Basically the specs. You know, you have a maple neck, you have a flame maple fretboard.
What's all this like dark all around the corners here?
Yeah, the idea was, when we get also the thinking was, we put the wood into a barrel of whiskey and we get it out, and it has this typical brownish color of whiskey, but it wasn't like this. It was like before. So it was smelling like alcohol, unbelievable, but the color was the same like before.
Gotcha.
So to get the color of the whiskey in, or the idea of the whiskey, we were burning it. And
so those are burn marks on it. No,
burning
that's
marks.
cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, I'm interrupted you. We're talking about other
specs.
Stuff. Yeah, specs. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, and when you turn it around, you see also here.
Okay, now this blew me away. Yes. I came to you yesterday because Divinity and I were doing a video, and she was like, "What the hell is that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. That's a USB port? Why is there a USB port?" I was thinking maybe it was like a MIDI interface or something like that. Tell me, why is that USB port there with the LED light?
We made last year the decision to rework, or 2 years ago, 2016, we reworked the electronic. And also we came to the point that most of the basses, they are active. So you need a 9-volt block.
Yeah, not 9-volt battery and all that, yeah.
Yeah, and...
or 2 sometimes, 18
sometimes
volts.
Sometimes 2, yeah. And we made the decision to work a little bit, and also for the protection of the nature, and don't waste things. So what we did, we were thinking about how we can make it in a bass that you don't need so much batteries anymore, and this is a USB charging system.
So you can charge your bass with the USB port because there's a lithium-ion battery in here?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing. Now, at first I was just thinking that's brilliant because most basses, especially like boutique instruments like this, you have to unscrew this plate, so you have to have a screwdriver to replace your batteries and stuff, and it's a pain in the ass. So that's what I was thinking, but then you said you were thinking of, just not being wasteful in terms of like recycling or all that. Because as a tour manager, I change the batteries on all of our wireless packs. Yeah. We go through 46 AA's and 6 9-volts every 2 shows.
Wow.
Every 2 nights.
Wow.
We don't use batteries more than 2 shows. Not because they run out, but it's just like you don't want to run the risk of my in-ear is going out
Yeah.
mid-set, right? So every 2 nights we go through, I think, a lot of batteries. It's obscene. So the fact that you can just plug it in USB, charge it up before the gig every single night and be done, what the hell, dude? That's a brilliant idea. Yeah. That's so freaking cool. And then what about the electronics on here?
The electronics, we have a 3-bay electronics with a master volume, balance,
Yeah, so
treble and bass,
Uh-huh.
and we have mid-range.
Mid-range. Yeah, and thing's pretty versatile. Like I said, volume, and then a pickup blend between a P and a J style pickup, so your neck pickup. Right, that's your rock and roll sound, probably rear pickup. For that Jocko kind of tone, and then somewhere in the middle. Honestly, my favorite slap tone is usually like right in the center. And then, just treble, bass, and mids, so the brightness. Pretty nice without being too sharp. The bottom end, it's got plenty of. And the mid-range, is this like a low mid, high mid, or just somewhere in between?
Somewhere in between.
Yeah, so if you want to get a really scoopy sound, not so bad. Got a nice mid-rangey tone. Get that burpy sound. Nice for blues music, rock and roll. So seems like you got all your bases covered with this.
Yeah.
And you get a bottle of whiskey too when you buy it. Are you guys going to start manufacturing that, or is that is that also a one-time thing?
One-off. Maybe
One-off.
we do it in the future again, but at the moment it's a one-off.
But you buy the base, you get a bottle of whiskey.
And #1 bottle.
Number 1, it's labeled. Yeah, so it's limited edition. Yeah. Awesome. Well, Marcus, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, if you like what I do, please click on the subscribe button right here. And if you really like what I do, then click over here to see how affordable it is to join me at thebasis.net. But if you just want the free stuff, then click here to check out whatever YouTube's sophisticated robots think you should watch next. I'm sure they know what's best for you.